editing had to stop because baby girl has swim class. What do you have?
Swim class!
Woo!
Coffee. Photographers are made of coffee and unicorn magic. Hi guys, Celeste here. Welcome to video number 2. So if you haven't watched video number 1, go ahead, go do that first. This video is a follow-up of the first one, where I'm going to edit one of the images taken during my sitter session. I'm only going to edit one. I've chosen this image because the studio light did not fire on the shot for some unknown reason. So it's a bit more challenging to edit in that sense. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Enjoy! Hey guys, I'm just going to edit this one image. I chose this one because the studio light didn't fire when I shot it. So it's going to be a bit more, I'm using the term very loosely, challenging to edit this image. I'm going to edit it in Photoshop. So there we go. You'll see it immediately opens up in Camera Raw because it was a raw image. I always shoot in RAW just to prevent image quality loss. So like I said, the studio light did not fire on this image. As you can see, it's quite dark. The skin tone is very orange and dark. So let's start with that. I'm first going to push up my exposure a smidge. Actually quite a lot, because this image is way darker than I normally shoot. And then I'm going to drop down the temperature a smidge. Actually, let's first see, maybe the auto function can fix that a bit. That doesn't look bad. I'm going to leave it on auto. Just going to add a smidge of contrast. Let's see what the highlights does. Quite like that. I might raise the shadows a smidge too. I might actually raise it a lot. That looks cute. And the whites, I'm just going to raise a very small amount because my highlights and my shadows is pushed so high. Then from there, I'm going to go to lens corrections. And I'm going to enable the lens profile, because even though I shot with a 50mm prime lens, there's still a bit of a distortion. All lenses create a bit of a barrel effect. So yeah, you just fix that by enabling your profile correction. And then this isn't really necessary with this shot because it was shot under controlled circumstances, lighting circumstances. But I'll click remove chromatic aberration. From there, I'm going to go to detail, and obviously I'm going to zoom in to 100%. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of digital noise. So first off, I'm going to push my radius up all the way. This is what I usually do standard. And then I'm just going to mask it to 50. Then I'm going to start removing that noise by moving the luminance slider to my right until I'm happy with noise reduction. As I said, this one has quite a bit of noise in these shadowy bits. I'm going to push the contrast a bit too. And then I just want to bring back a bit of that detail. As you can see on her eyes, this image is quite sharp, but I do want to sharpen it just ever so slightly more. Just remember, if you add the sharpening amount, more noise will appear in your image. So zooming out again, that's what I'm left with in the end. So I'm going to go ahead and open the image. Alrighty, so in Photoshop, this is what it looks like after I've applied the basic settings via Camera Raw. So what I'm going to do next is I do want to get rid of these little crinkles in the backdrop. I also want to sharpen her eyes a smidge more, and then maybe see if I can get a bit less yellow out of her skin tone. So that being said, I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to select my brush at an opacity of about 50%. The flow, I'm probably going to keep at 100 because I'm using my mouse, not my graphic pen at the moment. And then I'm going to select this brighter part of the backdrop because that's basically the color that I want for this entire section here. I'm going to select that, increase my brush size. You can either use the square brackets to increase your size, or you can just go up there and adjust it with this slider. I prefer using the brackets though. My hardness I'm going to put all the way down because I don't want my brush to be hard at all. And then we're going to start painting. As I said, I'm using my mouse instead of my graphic pen. So I'm just going to give a slight little click for each brush stroke. There we go. And you can see before and after. So as you can see, a bit of the white has gone onto the skin over here. I'm going to apply a mask, a layer mask. Stay on my brush, just decrease the size, and I'm just going to start masking that out roughly. Just making sure I didn't get too much on her. Over here where her tutu is touching the backdrop, I'm not going to remove the white from there, just because it just gives you that nice little hazy look and feel to it. Alrighty. So then from there, I also want to, there's a little speck of dust or something over there, probably from while she was playing. So I'm going to zoom in on that spot. Ooh, not that much. There we go. And I'm going to duplicate my background layer. I never work on my background layer. I'd rather duplicate it because it's called non-destructive editing. That little speck there. Now, usually I would use my spot healing brush tool, but for some reason it's doing that, which we do not want. Or maybe it's because I didn't. Nope. Okay, so let's use the clone stamp. Just going to decrease the size, select the area close to where the speck is, and just paint over it. And that's it. Pop your ankle. Alrighty. So what I want to do more is I want to basically just get her skin tone. I don't like that very heavy orange tinge in there. So I'm going to create a new adjustment layer. I'll probably use, let's see. I'm first going to try the curves layer. And it will fall within the red spectrum. And I want to remove a bit of red. So let's see. So like as you can see, it's obviously applying it to the whole image. But this part here is an automatic mask that it creates for any adjustment layer. So I'm just going to use, I'm first going to invert it because I don't want it all, I don't want the effect to be applied to the whole image. Then I'm going to use my brush tool, and with white selected, I'm just going to start adding that effect to her skin where those heavy oranges and yellows are. So before and after. Now that looks a bit yellowish green, so I'm just going to bring down the opacity a bit. That's better. Cool. So usually what I like to do from there is just go into my create a new curves layer, and usually to get that filmy look, I'll, from the shadows, draw up the graph bar smidge. That just makes the image, gives it that soft glow to it. As you can see, the more I add, the less of the darks there's going to be. I usually like to put it around about there for photo books if I'm using that image for the background of a photo book. With this image, I'm just going to use it ever so slightly. And I think I'm actually quite happy with that. Let's see what it all looks together. There's the before, there's the after. As you can see, the changes are very subtle, but that's the whole point of it all. We want it to look natural and pin sharp. On that note, speaking of pin sharp, last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to merge these layers. As you see, I did that there. It doesn't change anything to it. But why I want to do this is I've got this handy action that I created years ago, which I still use often. It's called high pass sharpening. And I'm just going to play that action. And what I'm going to do, just so you see what it does, let's shut down those two. And that's the actual layer that I just merged. So that's what the high pass sharpening looks like on its own, but it's set to soft light so that you can see it actually just sharpens the entire image. There we go. And that is basically how I would go about editing this image, obviously.
And that's it for this video. As a thank you for watching, I'm going to include that action script, the high pass sharpening action script, to anyone who's interested. I'm not sure how I'll be sharing that yet. I'll have to see how I can share that, but nonetheless, I'll put the link in the description below. If you like this video, please give me a like, please subscribe to my channel, and thank you so much for your support. If there's anything specific you would like me to show you, please let me know in the comment section and I will get working on that. As for editing a sitter session photos, that's a wrap. Have a wonderful week, keep rocking, keep shooting, get out there, have fun. Bye.